Hi, Paul. Good to see
to
you.
see you again, yes.
Good to see you.
Hi,
Mr.
Mr.
Wong.
Wong.
Nice to meet you again. Been some time, right? Couple months or so.
Yes. So happy to be able to finally see this exhibition.
Thank you for coming today. And you can see this is over 5 years of sort of hard working or not working, you know.
So Wong, you've started with the Flesh series for a number of years, and then you included
Evolve,
the Burger
yeah.
series. So how does this fit within the evolution of, the Flesh series? Maybe you can tell us a bit more.
Well, it just evolved gradually every day, you know, and one day by accident I cut off a piece and I hang it. Hey, it looked interesting. And I say, why don't I make some sculpture out of it, which is a cut art. When you cut out something, it's almost like carving out something. Then you can call it a sculpture, you know, which is true sculpture. It's a piece of sculpture. Individually hung can be, or group hung. So I find it easy to storage, lightweight, you know, no monument type of thing, you know. It's not a statue or whatnot. But this symbolizes my expression toward the cruelty of society, of humankind, you know. In a form, it is a kind of a rebel, activist over the hardship of the world today caused by human. Yeah, that's what I try to do.
I mean, these pieces are unique in the sense that it's both three-dimensional and two-dimensional, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
painted
you got it right.
on a flat.
It,
but
it is a painting and a sculpture.
that's
yeah,
right, it's both. So it's quite unique. You chose rice paper to paint on. Is it because it bleeds to the back, or is there a reason? Yeah.
Rice paper has a special effect when you apply certain ink brushes, ink or acrylic or even oil. It creates different effect, which you don't find on canvases. So over the years, I've been using rice paper for a long time, and I experienced certain effect. So I kept those effects in mind and applied them on this. So you can look at them. It is swimmer. At the same time, it is an oil painting. It is an acrylic painting. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's no good, it's no good. You know, right?
Yes. Shall we walk?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the thing that struck me as I walked in was that, as Paul was saying, it's a 2D painting, but yet it surrounds you, and it's so much more than seeing it on a wall, because you can smell it almost.
Yeah.
You can feel it around your head, and so
Yeah,
I must say it's amazing.
it's meant to be a forest, so you can really walk into a forest, right? You can almost walk through here, right?
Yes.
Like you're walking through trees, you know.
Yes.
So maybe someday I'll do a jungle.
Yeah.
And the different colors and textures, some are matte, some are
Some are glossy,
with
right?
the gold finish. I mean,
Right.
what were you thinking when you did
Well,
the different?
I experiment and see the result. You know, I find it's a good combination to do some glossy and some flat and whatnot. You know, so all this gel, the glossy gel, and all the treatment that I apply to the rice paper, they are very strong. As you can see, they are not like any more ordinary rice paper. You know, it's almost difficult to tear. You know, it's strong.
I see.
Right, you see ordinary rice paper is almost like toilet tissue, or you just simply tear it over.
Yes.
But this one is kind of durable.
Are they painted on one side, or there's a combination? Some are painted.
That's a part. You see, I have to, before I do this, I have to envision what I want to do. I want to do a nude in the back and then meat in the front. So I have to design in such a way that when I cut out, I have this meat series looking, and also a woman, a torso.
Right.
Like this
right.
So that is a,
That's
This
unique.
is a,
that is a
nude
difficult-
on this side.
yeah. Well, this is more abstract, right? This is
Yeah.
like almost like semi-abstract nude, right? You can see
Yeah.
the form, but here is a meat,
Ah.
right? That I still kept.
Yeah.
This piece, yeah.
And
There are some, like for instance, this piece is more vivid. of new, right?
Yes.
This also new, so I don't know how.
On both sides,
but
right.
it became that way, you know.
There's almost some element of your lotus as well in that piece.
Well, all the elements are there because you can alter your handwriting, you know.
Yes.
You can almost, you know, no matter what you write about, you know, your handwriting appears. That's what it is.
So, Mr. Wong, I mean, are these pieces to be displayed hanging, or they could be displayed flat in a frame, or I mean, how did you
Well,
say?
it can be put in a box, plastic box, and hang in the middle, which I have already
I
one
see.
somewhere. It's not put up yet, but in the mid, so you can see it on four sides.
I see.
But if you can do this, you see.
Yeah.
You only see one side, you know.
Yes.
And of course, you have somebody have a big house, they can hang a few like this on the wall,
Right.
right?
I see.
Occasionally, just dust it off, you know, which doesn't require any framing, nothing at all.
I see.
Just hang from the ceiling down, just like this. I think will be.
Yes.
Yeah. So
But then the thing is that people have my question, how durable is this? You know, I think it's quite durable. I have that piece in the box for about 4 years. You know,
Yeah.
it's still hanging there nicely.
Yes. Here, this one.
Say
So
what?
I see meat here.
Yeah.
But then on the back, it's
It's a swimmer.
yeah, it's a swimmer, almost entirely black,
Right.
black and white. Interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
And like a nude.
Yeah,
sort
it
of.
is.
Is that right?
It is
It's
a new. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. The juxtaposition
Yeah.
between the two. And this is clearly a meat piece because
Meat
with
piece.
the ribs and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's very strong. You know.
yeah. It's great.
Especially installed some yellow light, so we change the color a little bit.
Yeah. Is there any piece here that you so came to you and was a little bit special, and you wanted to?
They're all different. Each piece is different,
Yeah.
and I find the pitch you point out is quite interesting
Yes.
because it has obvious two
Sides to it.
sides to it, you know, and
Yes.
and some of them are more. Like for instance, this one, right, is very
yeah.
sensual, you know, in a way, right, the color wise. So is this part too. These are both what they call nude in a way.
Yes.
So
I also noticed you use a lot of turquoise, so that piece, this one.
use a lot of what?
Like turquoise? Is this the
Turquoise,
right?
yeah. Sometimes I
Oh, is
use
that
a
the
little
right
turquoise
description?
to bring out the ribbons, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything would be red, you know.
And you say you cut some of them, but this looks like you had to tear.
Yeah,
Is that right?
sometimes
Yeah.
tear, sometimes accidentally happen, you know, and then and you felt it is important to keep it, you keep
Yeah.
it, you know.
I see.
In art, there's no say you cannot do this, cannot do that. You can do as long as you come out with something good, you know, by accident or by intention, you know. That's
Yes.
not like in law, you know. It doesn't, you know, you have to be like that.
This is the letter of the law. Yeah. But
But-
it needs to be something meaningful, you know. That,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you even in law you have to recreate, you know.
Sometimes you
You
can,
can
be creative.
overthrow. You
You
can.
have to
You can be creative
Yeah,
sometimes.
recreate.
Yes.
But your mastery of the colors actually helps bring out the meat, but in an artistic
Yeah, of
way.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, and you do it very well.
It's like you write a book. You don't have good way of writing it.
Vocabulary.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Good diction or whatever.
Yes.
Then you can compose anything. You know.
Yes.
So you have to be a little bit more how you call it, mature in
Yes.
your ability of using brushes and in color. You know.
So in modern society, we eat a lot of meat, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the Western society, you know, the burgers and all are meat, and people don't see, as you say, the cruelty of the culling of the meat in order to cook it. But what you've done is made it artistic, beautiful, and enticing for us to walk through, but at the same time, knowing what it really is, which is amazing. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it is a form of alert to people, to humans. Don't forget, I say in history, we kill each other for consumption. You know, for meat, for animal, and whatnot. You know, bomb here and there, killing this country, that country. Look at the amount of people that recently killed here and there. That is brutality. So this is the alert. Because I think human beings eat too much meat. That go back to history, they become violent, and we still continue the gene of being violent. You know, of course, of today is different. We have the law to protect society. You know, so less violent. But then, yet, with the law around, it's still violent here.
Yeah.
No, the violent. It's a thick book. You know, it's brutality toward women, children, people, peasants. For what purpose? You know, for an idea.
Is this also a cutout?
Yeah,
Or is it
partially.
collage?
Cut out too. Tear out.
Tear out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you create some of this effect? Because it looks as if it's a very marble and there's some...
Well, you see, a lot of time, I prepare a lot of the rice paper scrap that I already pre-color, pre-texture, you know, and then dump in the box. As I work on my pieces, I will search for the thing I want. Sometimes I search for this, sometimes I search for that, and this and that, and place them together. So it's like buying color paper, you know, you don't have to buy it. I create my own color paper and so on. So a lot of, I don't throw away all the scrap, you know, they all can be used. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah.
You sometimes use your mother's calligraphy on
Yes,
pieces.
I do. In the past I did, but getting lesser and lesser now because I don't want to destroy her work too much.
Yeah, amazing when you look back at sort of the juxtaposition of the flowing pieces against still pieces on the wall.
Right. I don't require a fan. The aircon serve the purpose, you know. As you can see, this piece is almost like a big nuke, right? The calligraphy looking, related to some of the work I did before, picture writing, so on. It is like a butcher's store, isn't it? I was telling, we need to get a fat guy and then sit there and cut some meat up, you know, and then, yeah.
That can be another form of art within art.
Well, it is.
Live art.
Yeah.
That was the genesis of the meat artwork. I think that's what you mentioned before.
Yeah, it is, you know. I mean, I'm not the first one who does beat, you know, flesh and skeleton and things like that. There are so many artists. But I think over the years, for instance, Rembrandt did a few, Sautin did a few, and so on. They're not totally emphasized on it. Because I think at that time there's no market for it, you know. They had to make a living doing something, you know. So therefore, you don't see too much of it.
I think you're certainly the first Singaporean artist
especially
to do something so bold.
Well, that's what I feel a little proud of myself, you know, in a way. And I did emphasize on the last occasion that Mr. Ho, my gallery owner, that and Artcommune and the Culture Story, they have the gut to sponsor me, and I'm very thankful for that, because I say to them, look, who would like to hang a piece of meat in the house? So I thank them a lot. But it turned out nice. I like it, you know.
No, thank you, Mr. Wong, for sharing your art with
Oh,
all of
you're
us.
most
Yes,
welcome.
yeah,
You're most
we're
welcome.
always,
And adding to the, I think the
Singapore art scene
the Singapore art scene.
and taking it further. Yeah.
I don't know what Singapore has seen, but then I hope this becomes Singapore art scene one day. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're very proud of you. Mr.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
that's right.
thank
Good,
you
good
for
job.
coming.
Yeah, good job.